In this video, we will be installing the 6th element rear seat delete and Molle kit for the 2024 and newer Toyota Tacoma. In the box, you will find 4 M6 30mm bolts, 6 M6 20mm bolts, 4 M6 12mm bolts, 14 M6 flat washers, 4 M6 lock washers, 10 M6 flange nuts, 2 M12 bolts, flat washers, lock washers, and flange nuts. Start by disconnecting the seatbelt from the seat. Using the key, or something similar in size if you don't have the key for some reason, press the red button on the buckle to release the seatbelt. Next, fold and attach the seat to the back support using the factory strap with button. There are 2 bolts that hold in each of the back seats. Removing all 4 bolts will allow both seating sections to be fully removed. Using a 14mm socket, remove all 4 bolts and set aside. All factory hardware will be reused. Remove the seats by pulling on the release strap on the backrest and lifting up on the bottom of the seat. Next, remove the jack and tire iron kit from the storage tray. Then remove the bolt that secures the tire iron kit to the tray using a 10mm socket and set aside. Continue by removing the remaining bolts that hold in the storage tray. Next, remove the plastic trim that covers the seat belt, followed by the storage tray and the top trim. Having another set of hands for this will make the removal a little smoother than trying to do it yourself. But who am I to tell you what to do? Using the 10 and 14mm sockets, remove the seat belt retractor and the belt retainer. Reinstall the organizing tray with the 4 bolts previously removed. The 4th bolt is the bolt for the strap on the tire iron kit. If installing the full seat delete and Molle system, this will require the removal of the Molle panel to access the jack and tire iron if needed. The solution for this is to relocate your tire iron and jack. If installing just the 60% portion and keeping the passenger seat installed, then this is not an issue. Next, place the top trim back onto the vehicle loosely and do not clip it in. Now, sandwiching both the crossbar and the backing plate, slide the two together with the backing plate being on the back, behind the top trim panel, and feed the factory seatbelt bolts and install into the factory seatbelt location. For now, don't worry too much about tightening the bolts. Just get both bolts started and we will come back to them. After both metal brackets are aligned, continue tightening both factory bolts. Next, push to clip in the top plastic trim, then repeat the same process for the seatbelt cover. The two M12 bolts, washers, and nuts from the kit are now used to secure the support brackets in place. If you are having trouble aligning the two support plates, these two bolts may be installed first to assist with installation. Note how the washers are stacked. The flat washer is to be installed so that it is against the bracket, and the lock washer is next to the head of the bolt. Install using an 18mm wrench and a 10mm Allen key. In the kit, there is a seat attachment adapter that slides onto the seatback connector. Note the slight angle that is on the open side. Installed correctly, this will line up with the trim panel. Insert the M6 30mm bolt with washer through the top of the bracket and thread on the flange nut from the bottom. Tighten using a 10mm wrench and a 4mm Allen. There are two of these total. Install both if wanting to install the full Molle system. Only install the driver's side if only installing the 60% portion of the Molle system. Now let's bring in the passenger side Molle panel. To skip the passenger side install, jump to timestamp 8:01 for the driver's side. Align the panel with the passenger side bolt location and reinstall the factory seat mounting bolt. Follow with the bolt that is on the driver's side of the same panel. Next, thread in the M6 12mm bolt and washer through the Molle panel and into the seat mounting adapter. Two of the M6 20mm bolts and washers are installed through the front of the Molle panel and backed with the flange nut on the back side of the crossbar bracket. Do not tighten any hardware until all hardware is installed. Bring in the driver's side Molle panel. The installation process is the same as the passenger side, with the addition of the center bolts that are threaded into the center seat attachment adapter. Once again, hand tighten the hardware using the 10mm wrench and a 4mm Allen wrench. In between both panels, there should be a small, consistent gap. Arrange the panels to adjust the gap and then tighten all bolts. To install the rear passenger seat, remove the passenger side Molle panel if already installed. Install the seat by placing it back into the truck and aligning the two pins on the bottom of the seat into the holes on the seat support. Push the back of the seat down into the seat support, while also pushing back into the red seat back clip. Install the 2 factory bolts that hold the seat to the vehicle. Tighten with the 14mm socket. Push the seat down if needed to ensure proper alignment of the factory bolts. The 6th element, GridFinite system, offers ultimate versatility, allowing you to mount equipment in an almost infinite number of configurations. Adapt your setup to suit your adventure, whether you're storing camping gear, recovery tools, or anything else you need out on the trail.